Welcome back, guys. You know what I like to do after the Bears lose another devastating game to the Green Bay Packers? I like to make a VR response for incoming hobby president John Mangini. So he wanted us to be able to make a video making recommendations of what we would do if we were a hobby president, but he's going to be hobby president, so these are my recommendations for him, and I got quite a bit of them. And the theme is, although this is a very apolitical channel, it's Stop the Steal, but this is a very specific hobby stop the steal, has nothing to do with politics. This is all hobby. So let me get into it. So first of all, I'm going to start with Tops and Fanatics. I want them to stop the steal by stopping overproduction of cards, which water down the parallels, where it makes some of the cards completely useless to be able to have in your collection. I want Tops and Fanatics to stop charging people hundreds of dollars for hobby boxes that end up yielding you only like $15 worth of cards. I want Fanatics to be able to make better products and not have us make these crappy t-shirts and sweatshirts that fall apart, but charge us full price and say that we're getting a good deal from them. I want Tops and Fanatics and Panini to be able to stop sending loaded boxes to breakers, to be able to kind of hype up the products and then leave the very few of them left to consumers that maybe actually have hits in them. I want uh, I want breakers to be able to stop stealing cards from customers during their live breaks. I know it's not every one of them, but the ones that are, I want to have them kind of kicked out of the hobby forever. That's not fair for those that are actually paying them to be able to break a product and then have it removed from them, either through a sleight of hand or just openly saying, I can't give you this card. For sellers that refuse to ship cards that sold for prices that they were not happy with. So they say that it's been lost, misplaced, or I just can't give it away at this item and cancel your sale. I think if you do that, you need to be off of eBay or whatever selling platform you are. That's not the point of being able to be on there. It's not part of the terms of service in the way that I kind of view it. For dealers that scan their hobby boxes and weigh their hobby boxes to be able to pull out the big hits and keep them for themselves and sell them in their own shops. I guess you can do what you want with your product if you own it, but you're trying to resell this to consumers, so it's kind of not your own product in some ways, ideally, because you want to move it on. So that doesn't feel right to me. I want to have for this was also for dealers for intentionally lowballing people that come in with their collections to be able to kind of sell them all in bulk, especially those that are maybe selling for a family member or a loved one that may have passed and they may not know a lot about cards. I want them to give them fair, honest prices and not make a huge profit at the end of the day to an unknowing consumer that's just trying to be able to kind of pass along their product and be able to get some money back in return after they've maybe lost somebody, right? That doesn't feel safe to me either. Um, for thieves that actually are stealing from dealers at card shows. We've heard a lot about those recently. I want to stop the steal there too. I want to be able to find these people and make it impossible for them to be able to do it. Impossible for those that are actually breaking into card shops and stealing merchandise right out of the stores. I want them to be able to be found and taken out of the hobby altogether. And then the final one I have is for grading companies that are actually charging up charges for their consumers if you got a better score or grade on your card. Whereas that might be wonderful if you're going to be selling that card in return. If it's in your collection, that's just more money out of your wallet. Or even if you are selling it, that's more money out of your wallet that you're not going to be able to get back in return when you're selling it. And actually, I did have one more. I forgot to put on the list here, but this is the first one that inspired it. This actually goes to the athletes that are charging double or more to have their autograph on rookie cards during private events and or at shows like the one I'm going to be going to this next weekend. You know who you are. Many of them are selling, charging their autographs for, again, double or sometimes even more on these autograph cards. Knowing that if you wanted to be able to kind of still sell this, you still have to get it authenticated and graded, which are additional fees on there, which definitely cuts out any profit margin. But also many people who go to get these autographs are just kind of getting it for their personal collection and just for the, being able to meet the athlete themselves. So it just doesn't kind of feel fair that you're kind of gouging the customer for that kind of experience. Is there another way of doing this for those that maybe want to resell it or something? I don't know, but it just feels like a lot to kind of have a consumer come up there. There's one athlete that I'll say, who will remain nameless, coming up this weekend at the card show, is charging $400 to have their autograph on a rookie card. $400 and only $180 on everything else that you potentially could bring in to get autographed for at least a card or a flats, like a photograph. So it just doesn't feel right to me. So, John, if you can stop the stealing of money from consumers, from dealers, from cards, I would greatly appreciate it, although I have no idea recommendations to how you're going to be able to accomplish that. But that is my task for you as the hobby president. All right, guys, take care.